how many views? Crag has got the most views on any reveal trailer so far.
Really?
Do you know what the review the view count is on that right now?
On Crag?
Yes.
I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I did. So
Yeah,
no,
fair
I'm
enough.
not.
It's just under 250,000. So
Wow.
250,000 ends. The rest of them all have 170, 200,000. I mean,
Right.
people have really been keeping an eye out, and I feel like this is something that we're going to see a lot of VODs being sparked out, a lot of
Yep.
day negative 300 tier lists being made off of this tournament,
Yeah.
which is always exciting to see people kind of get an idea of what's going on, because that's what, really builds momentum. It's this word of mouth and this
Right.
kind of this building to this next kind of sequence here for us.
Oh no, for sure. And like I was mentioning kind of earlier, like during this, Rivals 2 is like such a big inspiration. People are very excited for it, and people are hoping that it, melds all these different platform fighter communities together, right? And it's almost like some form of renaissance in a way.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to see. It's really exciting to see. And like you said, there's going to be day negative 300 metas coming out. Like you're going to see people playing in this bracket here, and just because Dan, if Dan somehow manages to mop the floor with everybody, right? Then of course we might see a lot of like, oh my God, Maple is top tier, Maple's S tier, and everybody else is in A tier. Stuff like that. So it's really going to be, interesting to see the content that arises just from this one tournament alone here at Heatwave 6.
Well, and you see the response from like the YouTube community, and the nice thing about this, because of how much of a build-up and how excited people are from this, it's not just going to be Rivals content creators. You're going to see people like Wisely out there putting out content videos and doing breakdowns and stuff like that.
Yep.
But would it surprise you to see somebody like Alpharad come back in and say, hey guys, look at this new content we're seeing for the first time?
Yeah, not at all.
I really am looking forward to seeing how much of an impact it has, especially this footage. We were saying before we started this that this Rivals 2 bracket was one of the major reasons for me booking this flight from Florida. I was just like, hey, I have to be there for this first time, which shout out to Wisely. He was the reason I found out about it, because I didn't know they were doing this.
Yeah.
We're playing Street Fighter one day, and he goes, oh, hey, did you hear about this? And I'm like, all right, I'm booking my flight.
Yep. And yeah, man, again, we're all excited. It's going to be very amazing, and I think it's going to be just one of the best things ever. I've always loved Rivals of Aether 1. Rivals of Aether 2 is like one of the, it's like watching your favorite movie for the first time and you figure out there's going to be a sequel, and but sometimes it's that sequel that is, potentially even better than the first, right?
Man.
So
we got two new players on stage here. Aztral versus jadon't. Zetter and Rano. First time seeing Zetter on screen today, and I've seen him a lot in these play brackets because it's stuff people are used to, and kind of an easy like pick up and go character from R1, and he looks really good.
Yeah, no, Zetterburn is actually one of the better characters according to Dan previously. Zetter, Maple, and Fleet are actually like probably top 3 characters at the moment, but it's only 3 out of the 6 characters. But the thing that makes Zetterburn so amazing and so great is his shield pressure is just so insane. He gets away with a lot of safety on shield. Can do a lot, like look at that, like wave dashing around shield, being able to just kind of put people in an uncomfortable position, and of course taking stocks very easily with that inflamed up strong or inflamed strong attacks.
Yeah, just really pressure right now from Aztral.
Yeah.
I guess Jadon't got knocked out of a jump there. Something happened to prevent that recovery. But this is also going to be kind of something interesting to keep in mind for this first night, is that there's going to be a lot of players who look very comfortable. Aztral looks very comfortable. Dan was, of course, very comfortable. There's also going to be players maybe playing it for the first 4th or 5th game, right?
Yeah.
So don't let, hopefully Jadon't doesn't let this bother him too much, because sometimes you just get matched up against somebody that has a lot more hours in the game, and when people right now are counting their hours in minutes, it makes a big difference.
No, for sure. And so Jadon't is actually from Lethal League Blaze, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
okay.
So Lethal League Blaze, and Astro, of course, a native Rivals of Aether 1 player. So I think they were maybe doing some button checks real quick. There was something, maybe something was afoot, maybe a little bit here, and but now it seems like Jadon't is actually able to move a little bit more. But, of course, like you mentioned, Astral, very, very comfortable, just kind of moving back and forth. Zetter is actually a character that they made in the original Rivals.
That makes sense. I'm really noticing now for the first time, because it was a little crowded yesterday amongst all the setups. Obviously, the crowds were very, very big out there.
Right.
But the sound design sounds really, really good. I mean, the visuals have been fantastic as we've seen so far.
Yeah.
We're back into Hodan's temple, or Hodan's dojo, excuse me.
Yeah.
Which is the traditional tri-plat here.
Right.
But like big long walls too, stuff we're all pretty familiar with as Rivals players.
No, for sure. And right now, okay, trying to get that soft spot of fair into the down air, which would have more than likely killed, especially in this game, considering you don't get a wall jump that low, from the wall anymore. So that would have definitely sealed the stock on jadon't's part, but unfortunately unable to make it back regardless. And looks like Dan's going to go ahead and check on a few things and help out. Because
I realize what it is now. So a new one for us. You got to go all the way down and switch the right stick setting because it can do a bunch of things.
Yeah.
They're showing us earlier that you've got inverse and normal for your aerial and your ground settings. So like example for raster, for as a key example there, you can set C stick or set R stick to be aerial strong and tilt on the ground.
Right.
Which is really helpful in that scenario. And if you don't set it, even if you set your in control areas to like what you want your strongs and what you want your lights to be, it can still just preset back to that. So I'm sure that's something that's going to get tweaked and built, and something we'll see kind of adjusted as time goes on because it's pretty deep in the menu if you don't know to look for it.
No, for sure, and that's another thing. I think it also happens when you like plug in a new player to that same port. Like it switches around the controls, and then that player has to readjust their controls over again. So that could have just been something that happened in that first game here.
You'll notice we haven't gotten to in-game tags yet. It's something that this is still in the beta. There's still a lot of things that are going to change between now and release, and so it's nice to get kind of this insight. And I really feel like outside of like right before like NASB 1 or Framemakers, which is still in early access right now, I believe as well, right?
Yes, Framemakers still in early access.
So it's nice to see these things kind of in real time and develop.
Yeah.
And it's great data for somebody like Dan too in the team, so they can look at things and see, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. We found a bug yesterday that caused the game to crash in doubles.
Really?
Where if Zetter was doing an aerial or was doing a down B onto an aerial opponent, crashed.
Really?
Every single time. So we were just kind of going like, hey Dan, we broke it. And he comes reset it, come back and said, hey, we broke it again. This is what we think is happening. And he's like, oh, okay, cool, good to know.
Yeah.
And this is a key thing for him, and it's a key thing for us. You get so much more information on this. Looks like we're just gonna wash out game one since we didn't have control set. So definitely good manners from everybody involved here.
Yeah, no, good support from all around. And of course, this is the first Rivals of Aether 2 bracket, so you have to kind of be a little bit more lenient and give everybody a chance, right?
Sure.
Right, and one thing I've been seeing a lot is upbeat or grabs out of shield is like one of those like habits that you'll notice pretty early on in terms of like people who are used to playing melee, even people who are used to playing ultimate. And now that there is shields in Rivals of Aether 2, that's something that is probably going to be a habit that can be exploited pretty hard.
So I don't know if we had a chance to talk about it there, but we actually saw a grab break for the first time.
Yeah.
And so you almost have like a RPS system there. Oh.
Nope.
Where if you hit special and your opponent hits specials, they can break out. If they hit pummel and they pummel, they can break out.
Yep.
Or you just have the option to automatically throw.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that in real time. I really like what they did to Rano's aerial up B.
Yeah.
It goes super far.
It goes far forward, right? But I mean, it really helps because Rano's mobility just in general has always been a little bit, difficult to manage because he's just slow in general, right? So, of course, now that the wall jump is no longer added, that gives him extra recovery mobility. So, but yeah, that like you mentioned, that special pummel or the normal pummel or just the straight throw is actually really cool to see because you now get a 30-30-30. You're basically legitimately playing rock paper scissors to escape a grab.
And looks like the switch to the tilt stick has made a hell of a dividend for jadon't. Looking a lot more comfortable in this game.
Yeah, definitely able to answer a lot more of these interactions. Been able to win a little bit more neutral interactions as well. And it looks like Aztral was trying to go ahead and edge guard with that shine, but not going to go ahead and win anything out. And jadon't going to go ahead and seal the stock there with a back air. It's a tried and true Rano back air.
Ooh, tech grabs, nice.
A huge forward air. Of course, the sweet spot forward air is one of the bigger things. And I think that's the main thing that really mixes people up on Rano's recovery, right? Is because of that horizontal distance that he now covers, it's just so weird to the muscle memory isn't there, and it feels weird to just be able to jump back and try to guard him, right?
You expect to be able to catch him before he gets back to the stage, and instead you have to really plan for him to land on a flat now.
Yeah, and now he's either on flat or he's center stage, and you're like, wait, where did you come from, right?
And then from what we've seen, not a ton of ending lag on that either, so kind of gets away a little bit freer on it now.
Yeah.
Something I'm hoping we'll really get to see. Have you seen the particle effects they're doing on the high knockback situations?
I have not, actually.
So I only saw it a couple times, and I had to ask Dan, like, what is going on with this? So they have not programmed in a purple screen yet. That's still in the works, and it turns out was actually one of the more complicated parts of Rivals 1 to kind of factor out all the scenarios for it. And what they're doing instead, and we might see it here on like one of the big smash attacks or something like that, is if there's a high enough knockback, you get this really cool particle effect, and it could be on any move.
Oh, it's a particle effect. I thought, okay, because I thought that just was the purple screen. I saw it maybe once or twice during my entire time of playing.
Right.
And, but yeah, it's like a giant, well, actually, you know, I'm not even going to say what it is because I want you guys in chat to be able to witness the greatness as it happens in this, if it does happen in this bracket. But
just keep an eye out for it, guys.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, you'll definitely, it's something you'll notice immediately. Wow, just a straight up run up strong, coming out from Aztral.
You can tell they play Zetter.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing, so, you know. But
I'm surprised we didn't see it there. So the instances that I saw were usually around like the 150, 160 range. So,
right.
But no. So I did talk to Dan about it. It is not in replacement of the purple screen, if not yet. Right?
Oh, okay. So
it's still like very in progress there. It was actually really interesting hearing about like the development of it in R1,
right?
Because it's something that like really took a lot of programming experience and a lot of testing and getting all the kinks out for it because it's really fascinating. So next time you bug them to like add another effect to the purple screen, it's like, oh well, they should do it if this happens. They should do this. Don't. Just don't.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
No, for sure.
But it's a really, really cool effect here. We're going to...
Aetherian Force.
Thank you. I was not... The font's not quite big enough for us to pick up on our screen over here, so I'm glad we've got somebody with younger eyes.
Yeah, Aetherian Force, of course, that kind of like rotating platform. Going to go ahead and help out. I mean, maybe I think jadon't kind of just wants that like extra mobility, or maybe even like an extra chase down when Aztral is in the air.
Sure.
Right. So that could be something for sure. But go ahead and get that back throw into the up tilt, hoping to get that dash attack. Not able to continue the damage here, but
there it is.
Yeah, that was actually huge for Aztral. Getting caught by the forward strong and the Rano on fire at probably like 70% is definitely dead to that forward strong. No ledge dash onto the platform there, but just going to go ahead and dash back into almost like roll distance.
We're kind of looking at the still filling out process, right? So every time that Astral's gone that low on the two of those, could have been Edgehog, right? So this is something new. You've got the ledges to keep in mind for. You're getting adjusted to everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing I haven't really seen too much. Like, I haven't really seen people experimenting with the Ledgehog that much, especially in like friendlies or in friendlies 1v1s, friendlies doubles, or anything like that. But of course, you can basically just attack somebody if they miss the ledge just by a little bit. So I think that's why we haven't really seen Ledgehogging too much, because players are just comfortable with that. Like, oh, let me get a down tilt, or here, let me get this one hit near ledge and get the kill from it.
All in due time,
of course. Wow, going for the extra flare there with the up B, hoping to do something like Falco maybe.
There's that special up too.
Yeah.
So another thing about Rivals too is that you do have a special get up option.
Yep.
In Zetter's case, like you see there, it does ignite that space around it and has an incoming hitbox. So another opportunity to kind of light the fire, get everything going for him, and get that toolkit in place.
Yeah. No, the special get up. You have your special get up attack, your special get up from the ledge as well. And of course, Zetter just tends to light everything on fire when he does his specifically. Oh, wow, just a drop off Angel Platform and fair. The tried and true, man.
Now, this is something cool we didn't get to see the last couple times because they didn't go to last stock, but every stage has a unique last stock animation. This, of course, you're seeing the kind of the forest dragons pop up in the background that we were used to on Forest 4.
Yep, and that's one thing that, of course, they added, again, from Rivals 1 that you see. I think there was some in Rivals 1 that they were still, like, patching previously. But, of course, now, this is something they decided to add into Rivals Beta 2. But jadon't trying to get out. Wow, the reverse hit of fair. This could spell doom.
Take a ledge, take a ledge, take a ledge.
Doesn't want a ledge hog, and it's like, if that would have happened, that was going to be it, and jadon't would have been in a game 3 situation here.
Aztral has no such qualms, immediately goes for the Ledgehog.
Yeah, no, literally. Okay, good job up being. Wow, trying to go for that fair into guessing, I guess, like some sort of aggressive option from ledge. Gonna go ahead and get the pummel, normal pummel.
Pummel into the back throw. And that's just kind of more the combo setups, right?
Yeah, that was a little scary. I thought Aztral was going to be ready to go ahead and take the stock with something. Ooh, okay, soft spot of the forward air right there.
Sneaks past.
Yeah. jadon't is sneaking by the skin of his teeth at the moment. Another forward throw. I barely missed the backer right there too.
Oh, and DI is all the way out.
Yeah, that was a hard DI out moment from Jadon't. Maybe